Manifestation for high achievers isn't about pink, fluffy, boss babe magical thinking, right? It's about the next level of leadership. And that's because true manifestation is about alignment above all else. When you understand manifestation in this way, it stops being a vague concept and becomes a tool that you can actively lead with. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, how you can put it to use, and the bit that most people miss, including me. The reason that I was able to become an award-winning entrepreneur and one of only 2 recommended wedding cake suppliers to the Ritz Hotel in Mayfair, London, was because who I was being was in complete alignment with that goal, right? So I'm going to share exactly how to get into alignment with the goals that you have so you can quantum leap into them like I did. But unlike the way that I did it back then, you'll also have the ability to stay there. So let me explain. When I quantum leaped into that success, I wasn't fully aware of exactly what I was doing, yeah? I literally just followed the fun and everything slipped into place. I met all the right people at all the right times, and before I knew it, I was in all the luxury wedding magazines on wedding TV, and I was invited to some truly swanky events. You see, that's what manifestation actually looks like. It's opportunities lining up as a mirror of who you're being. But when I got to where I wanted to be, I was suddenly hit by imposter syndrome, which turned being pulled by my passion for the work that I was doing into pushing out of fear of losing everything that I built. And the reason that that happened was because although my sense of who I was as a high achiever following the fun allowed me to take the action that brought about that success, my deeper self-concept didn't match the reality of my life. And that's the thing about manifestation, right? You don't just attract the success, you also attract the identity gaps that you haven't addressed yet to give you the opportunity to address them. So the way that showed up for me was not feeling at home in the success that I'd built. So imposter syndrome, yeah. I've already made a video about that, so I'll link to it at the end. So for you to use manifestation as a leadership tool that enables you to keep leaping to your next levels of success, you not only need to embody the version of you that takes all the action, and I can't think of any of my clients that doesn't already have that bit down, but you also need to embody the version of you that knows you're fully deserving of being in that success. That is to say, that your self-concept allows incredible success to feel inevitable and natural. And it starts with knowing who you are on a spiritual level. If I were to ask you who you are, my guess is that you'll tell me your name and what you do for a living, yeah? And there are also some people who would include their family line, so who their parents are, or grandparents are, or where they came from. But none of those things are the real you, yeah? Right now, your default mode network, a group of connected regions in your brain concerned with self-reference, underpins a self-concept of who you are and what you can achieve based on past experiences. Yeah? Anything that caused you any harm, emotionally or physically, was coded by your amygdala as being dangerous, and you developed coping and protection mechanisms to keep you from experiencing those things again. Yeah? This self-concept and protection keeps you reenacting a life that is self-perpetuating, yeah? It follows the drivers of behavior that you might have heard me talking about before, but it's worth revisiting again here, because this is how the small self keeps you in an old reality, right? In a nutshell, the drivers of behavior follow a cycle of your beliefs creating your thoughts, which create your feelings, actions, and results, which then go back and reinforce your original beliefs again, yeah? The cycle is never ending until you choose to change any one of those cogs. Like I say, this is all part of how your small self operates within the confines of your human body and your human experience. But beyond the neuroscience and psychology, there's a much deeper truth. The truth is that you're the creator of your reality. We live in a cause and effect universe where you are the cause and the external world you experience is the effect. And generally, we recreate the same life experiences because of the cycle of behavior that I just spoke about. So when we realize that we can change a belief or change our identity, our whole life has no choice but to change too. And it's important to know and understand this because when you operate from the state of inner creation, you view situations differently, you lead differently, and your results compound. When you understand that you're the cause, you just show up differently, right? This can look like walking into a negotiation, feeling calmer and more confident, and people responding differently to that energy, which results in deals closing faster. And this is especially true when you're in alignment with the goals and designs that are really meant for you. What do I mean by that? Well, we all have genuine things that we want, yeah, and we manifested the desires for them. Those things have a very different energetic charge than the things that we want in order to prove a point, or even the things that we're told to want from society and our upbringing. The reason that building my luxury cake business was so easy was because it was a genuine desire that brought me genuine joy, yeah? I loved designing recipes and making cakes and creating designs with my clients. It wasn't about the outcome of winning awards and being in magazines. It was about the process. I actually really, really loved the work, which is why it was so much fun. So I want you to think about your business, career, or life in general, right? How much fun are you having in it? Your level of joy lets you know whether you're aligned with your greatest life or whether there might be a different path out there for you. You see, that sense of ease and joy is one of the clearest signals of manifestation at work. So find what you enjoy doing and lean into that. And notice who you're being as you do that, yeah? We manifest who we are, not what we say that we want. Please forgive the interruption. I was wondering if you could do me a massive favor. As you've got this far in the video, please could you give it a like and leave a purple heart in the comments to help teach the algorithm who to show this work to. I think it's a bit confused right now, so I really appreciate you doing that. Thanks again. I'll take you back to your video now. So if you had to give me 10 words that summed up the traits of the you who is doing the things that bring you most joy and the most success, what would they be? I'm guessing they'd be words like confident, excited, certain, peaceful, empowered, authentic, present, joyful, expansive, and I'm sure there are more that you can tell me about in the comments. And notice what happens when you feel all of those things, yeah? Now, in my experience, the work feels easy. Decisions are made really quickly. You take bigger risks knowing that everything's going to work out. And you allow yourself to be led by your joy. And because your actions are fully aligned with all that you are and all that you want, and they don't have any doubt or second guessing that causes resistance, the universe moves heaven and earth to line everything up for you. And when that happens, you get to live in a consciously manifested life. But to stay there, to stay in your new level of success, you've got to adopt the identity of a person who knows that they belong there, yeah? Someone who feels completely at home and relaxed there. Like I say, this was the bit that I was missing before that caused the imposter syndrome and the burnout. And it's where so many people fall down. So how do you create that identity then, right? Surprisingly, the way that you embody the identity of your preferred self is the same way, whether it's to quantum leap into a new reality or to finally feel at home in the one that you've got. Okay, there are a few ways that I use these tools with my clients depending on what the goal is and what's preventing the achievement of that goal or why the feelings of imposter syndrome are present, yeah? Everybody's different. Everybody gets to use the tools differently. But the first step to all of them is feeling safe in the present moment. This means grounding your energy and regulating your nervous system. Yeah. Now, I have very many videos on how to do that on my channel, so I invite you to go and find them. Okay, in no particular order, because there's no better or worse. It all comes down to the one that best clicks with you, right? Okay, so there's future self-embodiment. This is just stepping into the shoes of how you imagine your future self, the one with all the success, feels, yeah, how they behave and how they hold themselves, yeah. Another way is rewriting your beliefs, which change your thoughts, feelings, actions, and of course the results. Then there's aligned action mapping, where you take the actions of your chosen self. For instance, if you want to be a successful author, then an action that version of you does every day is to write. Makes sense, yeah? And then, of course, there's shifting your DMN activity patterns, so your self-concept is altered at a neurological level. If you'd like me to make a video going into all of these methods in more detail, then please let me know in the comments and I'll make that happen. But like I said, before doing any of those techniques, you need to get still and be present, because you need to let your little human body know that it is safe to expand. Because unless your nervous system feels safe, it won't be able to receive the manifestations of your alignment, yeah? So to recap, gain an expanded perspective from which to lead from, yeah? Know that you're the creator of your experience and the outer world is a reflection of your inner state of being. Allow joy to show you when you're in your greatest alignment and lean into who you're being in that aligned state. To eliminate imposter syndrome, bring more into your life, and to use manifestation as a leadership tool, step into the identity of the version of you that not only has everything that they want, but also feels at peace having it all. At its core, manifestation isn't mystical. It's the practice of becoming the aligned version of you. So your external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to bring you the life that you want. Now, this is the work that I do with my private clients and inside of my free school community, which is home to my paid and free programs such as the new and improved free 14-day mini course, Rewire Your Brain for Aligned Success and Lasting Happiness. You'll find all the links that you need in the description. And as promised, click there to watch my previous video on why imposter syndrome isn't what you think. I look forward to speaking with you or seeing you in my community. And if I don't, well, just know that you're ready, and this is where it begins. I'll see you soon. Bye.